Okay, guys. All right. So I'll just start chatting while I wait for everyone to get on. But I want to do law of assumption chat as usual. However, I'm just going to do it kind of like get ready with me style. I've been feeling a little tired and like low energy. I've been like my body's been needing a lot more rest lately. I have no idea why. I don't know what's going on. I'm not making up any stories about it. But so I've been like resting a lot more. So that being said, I have to get back to email coaching clients today. I have to film content, all of that. So I was like, okay, I really wanted to go live because my intention's been to go live with you guys at least once a week. So I'm going to get ready and do manifestation, law of assumption, chit chat with you guys here. Okay. So welcome to everyone hopping on. Let me know where, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm going to start getting ready soon, but my intention is to just chat with you guys about law of assumption, answer any questions. If you guys have any topics you want to bring up as it pertains to manifestation, law of attraction, law of assumption, mindset, all of that stuff. Thank you for the love. Hello to everyone hopping on. If you're new to me, guys, I'm a manifestation coach. I help you work through like healing emotions, mindset, and just get out of your own way and manifest what you want. I work a lot with self-concept, a law of assumption. I do readings as well. I'm not doing readings today because I just don't have time or energy to do that, but I really wanted to like come on here, connect with you guys and have a good chat and answer some questions. So let me see. I think we already have a question. Bear with me while I scroll. Okay, Gavin says, what if many people are manifesting the same thing, like winning first place? Who gets it? Well, you get it because in your reality, you're the operant power. So there's a lot of ways to view that. When we're talking about law of assumption, everyone is you pushed out. Are you familiar with that concept? Let me know in the comments below if anyone's familiar with that. That's a hard one for people to grasp sometimes in the beginning, but essentially your reality is happening through your own conscious awareness. You're the main character, you're the operant power. So you're the only one with the power. You're the main character in your reality the second that you step up and claim it, right? So some people are, if you're believing that people outside of you have an option, if you're believing that there's competition, then that's going to be true for you. But if you decide to pull your energy back from other people and be like, it's my reality, I'm the only one, you'll win. There's that crazy story, and I don't even know the details, but there's this woman who like won every single contest she entered. Like, those are some goals there. Like, I want to do that too. So affirmations for you. You're saying, yes, Neville Goddard. I would affirm I'm the operant power in my reality. There is no competition in my reality. I always get what I want. I always win. You could do some affirmations like that. Yeah. Another way you could look at it, I'm going to start getting ready, guys, while we chat. Another way you could look at that is that if you look at it from a quantum manifestation point of view, like a quantum physics point of view, like every probability and possibility exists. So there's timeline where you win and there's infinite timelines where everyone else can win. So that could be a good way for people to look at it. Like people who get scared that, oh, if I win, I'm taking away from someone else. You really want to have an abundance mindset and understand that everyone's creating their own reality. Everyone can create a reality in which they're winning what they want. There's no shortage. You don't want to have a shortage consciousness because we're infinite creators and we create infinitely. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense. I'm just doing my skincare routine real quick. Anyone else have any questions? Law of assumption. Welcome to everyone hopping on. You will see my very simple, easy skincare routine. I literally just use this like old school Jergens. It's nothing special. The multi-purpose face cream. I use it like a cold cream, and I just rinse it off with hot water, and I put on lotion when I do my makeup. I like to like really massage it in there. Okay. Where's the border of narcissism and thinking that the world revolves around me and everyone is getting what they want? I'm sorry, if that's a confusing question. No, I understand. You know what? And right there, the fact that you're even like, oh, by the way, look at those beautiful flowers back there. My girlfriend got those for me. They're so pretty. that's the fact that you're even asking that question, like, just shows like you have a good heart, you know. So you just gotta, hopefully you guys can hear me over the water running. I just need to like let it warm up. You know, you just gotta do what feels in integrity with you. I always want to affirm, I always like to think that as long as I'm following my heart, my inner guidance, as long as I'm staying in alignment with me and my truth, that in turn has a ripple effect and benefits everyone around me, right? Like, I'm never going to believe that me getting what I want has to hurt someone else, right? So when we're believing in that either or, when we're believing in like limited resources, right? If you believe in limits, if you believe in either or, if you're like, okay, well, if I make 10K, then that's 10K that someone else is out, and you don't believe that that money is going to come back to them multiplied, then of course you're going to kind of feel shitty, because you're always going to be like, well, is it shitty of me to put myself first? You know, like, but you have to have an abundance mindset. Understand that you're setting the rules for your reality. So like for me, every time someone pays me, I intend that one, the service they receive blesses their life. I intend that they get out of it exactly what they want and need and more. And I also intend that that money is returned to them multiplied. So I like to affirm that like my products and services create abundance for everyone. So it's a high service for me to be successful, right? And at the same time, I'm doing something that feels meaningful to me and in alignment with me, right? I think it's sometimes hard to get our energy behind something that we're not passionate about, right? But if it's something that feels like a pure desire, you know, always know that that's going to be for the highest good of everyone. And if you feel like there's guilt, you can go back in and kind of look at that energetically and see what you want to rework. It's really about, there's no actually like right or wrong, and I know this triggers people, but it's really what you can get your energy behind. Because like, how come some people do shitty things and don't suffer any consequences? Well, because they don't have any guilt and they don't believe that they deserve to suffer consequences, you know? And, you know, I know for people that's hard, but I always tell people, you know, just pursue what feels meaningful to you, and know that when you're doing well, when you're receiving what you want, when you're thriving, you're actually setting a really good example for others. Another good way to look at this is when it comes to boundaries. So a lot of people, you know, good-hearted people have a hard time setting boundaries, a hard time saying no, because they don't want to upset others. They don't want to hurt others. They feel like they always need to be there for others. But ironically, when you set boundaries and you honor what you can do, what feels good to you, instead of doing things out of obligation, then when you do show up for people, you're showing up in a pure energy, not this energy of resentment, because when you're showing up like that, it's actually not beneficial to anyone. And then when you do that, like, people respect you. You actually teach other people how to have good boundaries, because a lot of people don't know how to have good boundaries, right? So those are just some examples. Let me know if that resonates and if you have any more questions. I'm going to scroll back. Yeah, I know, like, when people first find law of assumption and you're like, oh, you're the god of your reality, you're the operant power, everyone is you pushed out, people think that that's like really narcissistic. But the truth is, like, your outer reality really, like, the physical reality isn't real, okay? It's literally kind of like a dream, right? Like, you're experiencing it all within your own conscious awareness. So you can just change the rules, right? Like, who said that you receiving your desires needs to be at the expense of someone else? Who said that you getting what you want needs to be at the expense of someone else? I fully believe that if everyone just followed their heart and what felt right to them, like, everything would just flow in perfect harmony. And you can set that intention, you know, you can say, like, for the highest good of all or whatever before your intentions, you know, and just always follow what feels right for you and have grace with yourself and others in the process, you know? Okay. Oh my God. Fran says, oh my God, I was just saying this because I was like, if I'm manifesting him, wouldn't his girlfriend feel bad? Yeah, right? I know. It's your reality though. You can literally have whatever you want. We're just so convinced that the outside and other people are so real. But at the same time, understand the golden rule, right? Like, everyone is you pushed out. We're all connected. When you look at this, so here's humans, in the 3D, we're having this experience of duality, right? And so we believe in the other, we believe in separation, but really it's all one. And when you look at it from a higher level of consciousness, a higher level perspective, we're all connected. So everyone is really you, just playing a role in your play, in your reality. So, like, of course, like, you get what you put out, right? Like you want to be a good person, right? You want to be kind and loving, but, like, I mean, so like there's the fine line, but like you can just have what you want. There are no limits. I'm going to start putting oil in my hair before I put my makeup on here. I'm manifesting an acting job without lifting a finger. Applying audition or anything. Any advice? Well, you could, like, if you really believe in that, like, if you can get your energy behind that, great, you can have whatever you want. I do teach that you can manifest without lifting a finger. You can. However, sometimes you want to, like, it makes sense, you know, we're having a human experience. We're here in the 3D and the physical. Sometimes it makes sense to, like, do the practical things, like put in an application if you see one, you know, like, but if you feel, but you want to just do what feels in alignment for you. So if you're like looking and searching and that feels like it's trying too hard and it's causing resistance, then you can always just set the intention that you're attracting amazing opportunities, and you can definitely manifest something to you. At some point, you're going to have to do something in the sense of like opportunities come to you and you're going to have to accept or reject it, right? But you can manifest that. I know friends who've like manifested people just walking up to them and like offering them like amazing, incredible jobs. Like you can do that for sure. You just always have to get your energy behind it. For me, I'm kind of like, and this also, I have a lot of Capricorn in my chart. So I guess I kind of just like the practical side of things. Like I like to take my steps, but I don't ever try to force anything. Like I never like, the second it's feeling like I'm trying too hard, I take a step back. I kind of like to do my part and then like let the universe do the rest. But like I said, you do not, I really truly do believe you do not need to lift a finger to manifest. You manifest based off of what you're believing. So if you want to do that, I would just work on your self-concept, like start embodying the version of you who already has that. And then just be honest with yourself where your beliefs are at. Right now, are your beliefs at, what is in my hair? Are your beliefs that like, oh, if I already was this, I would be applying for new roles, then like do that and don't make it mean anything. Or if it feels better to just lean back and let it come in, you can do that too. But start assuming the identity of the person. What thoughts are you thinking all day? Are you like, oh my gosh, I love that. What'd you say? You're like, I love that I'm not an actress. Like, this is amazing. I'm working with the best people. I love the set I'm on. I love, you know, all these opportunities. I'm making so much money. I'm getting paid to do what I love. Like, you know, that kind of self-talk. You could just manifest it. You'll be surprised. You'll either manifest it in, like someone will literally come up to you and offer it to you, or you'll just come across something one day and feel the urge to like apply, you know? So don't hold yourself back if you're feeling like you're getting guided towards some sort of aligned action. So let's talk real quick about what aligned action is, because a lot of people struggle with this. I'm not about hustling and forcing and trying to make stuff happen. However, if I get the nudge to do something, I'm going to do it, but I don't do it like with being attached to the outcome. And I'll explain in a second what I mean by that. So a lot of people, they decide what they want and they're like, oh my God, I got to go make it happen. And they get really like freaking stressed out, you know? And they frantically go and try to do stuff. And then they're like very upset if like, let's say you submit an application and it doesn't get accepted right away. Like, and they make it mean something about it, that like they're not going to get what they want, you know? Don't mind me, I'm just going to grab my makeup. You want to stay detached. You want to like take any action you feel inspired to do. So let's say you're looking to move, but you're like, not really, you're just like, oh, it would be nice. You're not super attached to it. You're like, I'm going to move at time's right. You could just casually, if you ever feel like getting on Zillow, just casually look, maybe scroll through Pinterest, get an idea what you would like. Maybe you make a list of like how you want to feel in your new home. What are some of the things you would like in your new home? What kind of neighborhood would you want to live in? Maybe you drive around in a few different neighborhoods and kind of get the vibe, you know what I mean? Like that would be a really nice passive way to do it. And like that maybe like you see a sign for a place that's for sale and you call and you check it out, you know, but you're not like hardcore, like looking, searching, trying to make it happen. You know what I mean? Do you feel the difference of the vibe? So, you know, you can definitely do it without lifting a finger, but you can also give yourself permission to take those little steps if it feels good. Let me know if that makes sense. Thank you so much for your perspective and answering your question. You're so welcome, Gavin. I'm glad it was helpful. Thanks for being here. I think the universe favors integrity though. Well, well, you are the universe. So if you believe that that's going to be your experience, I think we can all, but I do feel like, my belief, this is just my personal opinion on this, and you can accept or reject this, guys. You all have the power to do that with any information, by the way. I really heavily teach that, like with law of assumption. But like, I believe that we're inherently good. I believe that if we would just follow what feels right to us, like we would naturally be aligned with our hearts and we would make decisions with integrity. I believe that we all have God, infinite intelligence within us. We all have our soul, our inner being guiding us. And I think where people go wrong, if you will, when people do horrible things, it's usually rooted in a fear or scarcity program, right? They're believing in lack. They're believing that they need to control or dominate others in order to get what they want or manipulate. And it's interesting because a lot of people with law of assumption, when they first find it, they're like, oh, can I do this with integrity? And it's like, as long as you're not like trying to, like where people do bad things, if you will, is when they're trying to force things. You just deciding what you want, knowing you can have it, isn't hurting anyone. I really try to encourage people to leave morals out of it, because the thing is, it really doesn't have to do with good or bad. You know, that kind of either or thinking is very dualistic thinking. When we look into like unity consciousness, Christ consciousness, you know, like 5D, it's all just energy. It's all just God anyway. It's all you. Does that make sense? But we are here having an experience like of duality, you know? I'm reading through the comments, guys. Does anyone else have any questions? Any law of assumption questions? I'm like realizing that my camera is not a very good mirror for putting on my makeup, so I'm almost done. I don't wear a lot. I'll probably bring you guys to the couch with me and sit down a little bit as soon as I finish. And just so you guys know too, all the resources that I have are linked at the top of my page, my profile. So if you're not following me yet, I would love to connect with you here. Feel free to give me a follow. I go live at least once a week to support you guys. What else? I have email coaching, personal readings, my self-concept guide, which is like an ebook with a workbook. I explain how to manifest by mastering your self-concept. I have self-paced programs varying from all sorts of different things, like healing your feminine energy, confidence, emotional rehab, like if you struggle with addictions, like I have a lot of different things, manifestation mastery, aligned with wealth. I have a lot of programs. So you can look at that. I also have my YouTube channels linked. So I upload these lives to my YouTube. So you can always go back and watch the other ones, or if you miss the full live, you can go watch the full live there. So those are resources, by the way. I'm thinking next time I go live next week, I'm going to have an option for you guys if you want to purchase like a live reading on TikTok, where I can read for you for a few minutes live, because I know a lot of people come and want me to do readings. So I'm thinking to offer that. So you feel free to let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. And then let me read these comments. Fleetwood Mac, how do you resolve wavering? Okay, that's a really good question, because this is where people get stuck. When you're wavering, it's because you're playing in doubt, right? You're believing for a split second that you can have what you want, and then you're immediately doubting. Or you're staying strong, and then something happens in your 3D and you react and you assign a negative meaning to it. So the best piece of advice for when you're wavering is to just stay calm, okay? Stay non-reactive. Like Neville Goddard says, things wither and die with indifference. So, you know, you've got to understand that anything that's showing up in your 3D reality that you don't prefer, it is literally because at some point you were thinking thoughts in alignment with that, okay? So it's literally just some of your old programming getting pushed out, okay? And you have to just kind of like detach emotionally from it and not react. The second you react to something unwanted, you are feeding your energy and attention to it. Essentially, you're buying into it. Okay, so you got to be like, which story is going to win? My old story or my new story? Okay, and I understand that when you're triggered, it's not usually the time to where you feel super empowered to be like, oh yeah, I'm getting everything I want. Usually it feels kind of shitty, right? Like usually we're triggered because it's something we don't prefer, right? Like let's say you're manifesting financial freedom and then you get like fucking huge bill in the mail. Like that doesn't really feel good. But so you might not want to in that moment be like, I'm financially free. I mean, if you feel like you can do that without resistance, go ahead, do it. But at least stay neutral. At least don't react, you know, and you can just kind of give yourself a soothing pep talk, you know, like if you've worked with a coach, what would your coach tell you, right? Like if you're working with me, I'll be like, okay, breathe. It's okay. Like in this moment, you're safe. Is this something wanted or unwanted? Unwanted. Okay. So that means that this is part of the old story. It's no longer your story. So you're not going to pick it up, right? People waver because they take the 3D so seriously. It's like we want everything right this instant, right? But like, and you can, the more you learn how to be in alignment, the more you learn how to manifest what you want, the more you learn how to detach and just decide and trust your power to decide how your life gets to go, it's going to be easier and you're going to just be in this constant flow of like your manifestations coming in. Like that will happen. But there are some things that just, you know, again, take or leave this point of view. This is my own personal perspective. Accept or reject it. Please don't accept any limits from me. But sometimes I like to leave like some room for magic and miracles and like trust in divine timing. Like I don't have to control everything. I don't have to control how everything shows up. I don't, you know, because oftentimes, and you can definitely intend that you can manifest on a time crunch, but for me personally, I find that really stressful. I find that when I put time limits on stuff or I try to control how or when it shows up, like it just causes a lot of resistance for me. So I prefer, and I feel like sometimes that's coming from a space of lack where you're like desperate and clingy and needy, and I just find it harder to manifest like that. Do I know people who manifest like that? Yeah, I do. So I mean, you can manifest however you want. Like there really are no rules with the law of assumption. Like the only rule really is that whatever you assume to be true will become true for you. You know, that will be your experience. But I personally like to just have a little more relaxed vibe to it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm choosing this. I want it. Therefore, it's mine. It's available to me. It's going to happen. I don't need to force or control this. I'm just going to do what's right in front of me. And if I feel called to take any action, whether or not it appears to be linked to this manifestation or not, I will, but I'm not going to do it in this like needy, forceful way, needing to get a certain result. Does that make sense? So like, you know, just, and what you do is like when you're really certain that what you want is yours and that it's going to happen, it allows you to relax. And then when you see something that's looking like not like what you want, you don't freak out because you're like, okay, well, that's okay. I know that I've already decided what I get to have. Therefore, everything that happens in my reality from this point forward is actually a part of bringing me what I want. And, you know, again, oh, sorry, I dropped my hairbrush. Sorry, that was super loud. And again, not to give you any limits, but sometimes, you know, like sometimes things do need to fall apart so something else can come into place, right? But like, again, try not to make up any stories about it because you truly don't freaking know. And we don't want to like, the less you can make up stories about things, the more quick and easy and smooth it will be, right? So a good thing, a good affirmation when something's happening is just like, I don't know what any of this means. Everything's working out. I'm going to get what I want. Okay. I mean, think about it like this too, right? Like just from to try to help your logical mind understand this. And again, don't buy into limits if this feels limiting, but let's say you're dating shitty, toxic people, but you're wanting a good relationship. Like oftentimes you're going to maybe have to get out of the toxic relationship in order to open yourself up to a new relationship. Is that to say that you couldn't still attract a good relationship while you're in a toxic one? No, you could, but like, you know, meet yourself where you're at, you know, make it, you know, don't make it harder on yourself. You know what I mean? I hope this makes sense. Did you go in your bed? My little dog came over. Okay, so Fleetwood Mac, let me know if that resonated. And then if you have any more questions about that. Gavin says, but yes, I agree. If you're in alignment, you won't make choices that are bad for everyone. Yeah, exactly. That's what I believe. But again, guys, you're free to believe whatever you want. Gotta run. Thanks for the conversation. You're so welcome. Fleetwood Mac, thanks for your energy and words and putting this in your most simple terms. You're so welcome. Natalie says, I'm so glad I found your live. I'm glad you found my live too. Thanks for all the love, guys. I think I need to like look in the mirror while I put my mascara on real quick, but bear with me. Feel free to put any comments in any questions in the comment section, and enjoy the flowers while I put on my mascara. But yeah, I think the main, I'll just riff while I'm putting my mascara on, and you guys can drop any questions in the comments. But I think the main thing to understand with manifesting is to work on your belief that you get to have what you want, and also that you don't have to figure it out. So like, our logical mind is always trying to keep us safe. Our logical mind always wants to know how, it wants to know when. But when we look at like, you know, what's a miracle? What constitutes a miracle, right? A miracle is simply something that our logical minds cannot comprehend. Our logical mind typically isn't going to be able to comprehend something that we haven't experienced before. So when you're wanting to like level up, to expand into some more, your brain's not going to know how to take you there. So that's where you get to just get out of your brain, just choose what you want and then step aside, right? Your Capricorn loves to logic out everything. Yeah, like I'm a Scorpio, but like half my chart's Capricorn. I get it. And that's why I actually like working towards my goals, taking little steps, but I don't like to like hustle like many Capricorns do. I'm definitely like, I'm all about letting things be easier. I like to work smarter, not harder. But like, if let's say you're sick, you're like you can, for sure, you can just decide that you're going to get better and like manifest that with your mind. But like, maybe taking some Tylenol in the meantime is like a good practical step to help you feel better. You're going to feel a lot less resistance if you're not in a fuck ton of pain, right? Like, you know what I mean? You're a lazy Capricorn. Oh, me too, girl. Like, yeah, I feel you. Manifesting, not having to work hard to reach my dreams. Exactly. I'm right with you on that one. Well, you've come to the right place. We're on the same vibe. Okay, manifesting appearance change. Let me riff on that while I do my other eye. Okay, so you just want to decide what you want as far as an appearance change. If this is your first time doing it, if this is your first time really working with law of assumption and you're struggling to believe that you can manifest physical changes, you might, now accept or reject this, you might want to start with just one thing, okay? Or you could go general if there's a bunch of things and just say like, oh, I have my ideal body and face or whatever, okay? Or I have perfect health, whatever it is you want to change, okay? But you get clear about what you want. You can do this a lot of different ways. You can visualize, you can script, you could pick a affirmation track, whatever the fuck you want to do. Just decide what you want. And then I advise to stop scrutinizing yourself in the mirror in between. Because this is why people have in my opinion, why people have a hard time manifesting physical changes. Because they'll be like, they'll affirm for it, and then they'll look in the mirror like 10 minutes later and be like, oh, I'm still fat, you know, or like whatever. It's like, well, like stop doing that to yourself. Like, so just decide what you want and then stop like entertaining the old story. And anytime, and like obviously like we're gonna see our reflection like at some point. You can only avoid mirrors for so long, but just, you know, practice non-reaction. Like, it's okay. It's okay that you look the way you look. I think self-love really helps neutralize energy here with that. Like recognizing that you're beautiful. Like, you are God of your reality. God doesn't make mistakes. Like, you're a beautiful creation. Getting into like a sense of appreciation around your body, understanding that you're beautiful and worthy just as you are, and you get to manifest a change just because you can. It's not right or wrong, you know, and like not be in a hurry for it. Like I almost find that like the more detached you are, the less you're trying to do it fast, like the faster it comes. You know how like a watch pot never boils, like they say. And again, this is just my opinion and my perspective and like what I've seen with clients and what I've experienced with myself. But like the more relaxed you can be about it, the better. And just know that you're going to have it, and just know that nothing's too big. So like, it doesn't matter if you've never manifested a physical change before. It doesn't matter if you don't know anyone who's done it. Like, you can do it. Like, I love manifesting things that no one's manifested before, because it's like, okay, like I'll be first, you know? But yeah, you want to just practice not reacting. So when you notice that physical feature hasn't changed yet, don't tell the story of, oh, it's not here, it hasn't happened yet, I hate my nose or whatever. Just be like, I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous. You can literally look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I am my ideal weight, I have my ideal body, I have my ideal skin, whatever the fuck you want to manifest. Like, look in the mirror, and no matter what your human eyes tell you, affirm what you want. Just like, I'm so gorgeous or whatever, you know? Like, sometimes it's good to go general. Another trick is you can like write down specifics of what you want. And then every time you look in the mirror, just like, oh my gosh, I manifested my dream body. I'm so hot, I got my dream body. I go general all the time. I'm like, I'm gorgeous, I'm youthful, I'm healthy, I'm glowing, I'm so beautiful, I'm so sexy. Like, I just say that kind of stuff to myself all the time. But yeah, you can manifest specific changes. Of course, you can manifest whatever you want. The key is to not get triggered. And this is the key to manifesting anything, guys. You got to not get triggered if it looks like your 3D hasn't conformed yet. And do not fall into the trap of saying it's not here yet. Whenever you feel triggered, it's because you're seeing something you don't prefer. It's because that's the old story. So you want to remember, at all costs, do not pick up the old story. Okay? You don't even have to be like super positive. You don't even have to affirm what you want all day. You really just have to know that you're going to get what you want and not react. Stay calm and non-reactive when you see things that trigger you. I feel like I put too much oil in my hair. Now it looks greasy. Great. Does that make sense? What's my take on everyone's you pushed out? Okay, wait, hang on, let me read the one first. I'll get to that one. I try to avoid the mirror. You know any affirmations for desired length of hair? How long do you want your hair to be? Just affirm it. I manifested like my hair being wavy, like, because I used to always want wavy hair. I kind of did it like by accident. So I was living in Costa Rica for a while, and I used to always like straighten my hair religiously, because it would go not quite straight, but not quite wavy. Like, today's not the best day. I'm having a weird hair day, but that's okay. You guys, if you've seen my channel, you see how my hair usually looks. So my hair used to not be like that. So I'd always religiously straighten it to like get it all the way straight. So I was living in Costa Rica, and like, good luck trying to get your hair to stay straight there. So I just like let it go. And then I was like, oh my God, this is like the hair I always wanted. I always used to want like curly, like beachy wave curl hair when I was younger. I'm just gonna put my stuff away and bring you to the living room with me. And so I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then when I moved back to the US, I affirmed that my hair was going to stay like that. And so I went to Florida after that, and Florida is like pretty humid too. So then I was like, okay. Then when I was moving back to California, I was like, oh, California is dry. I want to affirm that I still get to keep my hair. And I did. Granted, it might have been a little curlier in Costa Rica, but you know, I'm not really going to harp on that. So I manifested that randomly, right? I kind of wasn't attached to it. I find that I manifest faster when it's kind of like a fleeting thought, or I write it down and then I forget about it. And then just in like general, just have fun, have good general beliefs. You know, the kind of affirmations to go with would be like, I always get what I want. I feel like something's in my hair. Everything's always working out for me, you know? Like, I manifest anything I want with ease, those kinds of things. What's my take on everyone is you pushed out? Okay, so there's a couple ways I look at this. I don't like to think of people as like these lifeless beings. Like, that doesn't really feel good to me. That's when I can feel like it can fall into a narcissistic dynamic. But again, I don't think there's right or wrong. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I really don't. Do I intend to be Hitler in this lifetime? Absolutely not, you know? I'm gonna carry you guys with me. I like to think that I'm connected with everyone in my reality. I like to think that how I show up, how I expect people to show up for me is how they show up for me, you know? Give me a second to I need to plug in this light and my phone, because my phone's gonna die. So I don't like to think of people as like these lifeless beings. I like to think of it as like another part of if I really want to think about it, I think that it's all God, right? Because think about it, energy can't be created or destroyed. And for my Christian people, I remember when I was in church, when I was a little girl, we learned the definition of God, and it was this, believe it or not, I still remember, that God is a spirit, infinite, eternal, and unchangeable, right? Like cannot be created or destroyed. Yeah. So I like to think of my reality and everyone in it as a different aspect of me, right? And I like to think that I'm interacting with all these different parts of me. I'm here playing this human to have this experience, right? So when there's something I don't prefer, I don't need to get angry and be mean. I can just say, no, thank you, and move on. And wherever I put my focus is what I'm going to experience more of. I also believe that we're infinite and we're creating infinitely. So based off of your self-concept is the version of someone you're going to get. So you have infinite potential to tap into whatever you want. And everyone else in your reality has infinite potential too. I like to assume the highest of the people in my life. So for example, in my relationships, I like to assume that my partner is going to treat me with love and respect always. I like to assume that my partner's always going to show up for me and be honest with me, right? Like I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, like what if they cheat? Like I don't even entertain that shit because I know that that's only going to show up if I'm energetically available for that. I have literally had an experience like this was maybe a year ago. I had one of my neighbors just be like awful to me out of the blue for no reason. And I was literally like, what the fuck? And I was like, I need to shift this dynamic. And I literally like, well, one, I stood up for myself. So, do what you need to do. I was like, absolutely not. You're not going to talk to me like that. Like I said that. And this person came back super apologetic. Next time I bumped into her several more times. She tried to be really nice to me. And then I like stopped bumping into her altogether. Or like if she saw me, she would avoid me. But literally what I did in the meantime was I was like, no, I'm always treated with love and respect. Okay. So that for me proved, and this was like when I was really working on self-concept around that specific issue. So that for me really it proved to me that I get to set the terms, like, so you just get to decide like how you view yourself and how you think other people view you and how people get to show up for you. Right. So you can do this in everything. You can do this in love. You can do this in friendships, family. You can do this in business. You can do this with like random people on the street. Like another one of my affirmations is I always receive amazing service. People love to give me things for free. And guess what? Every time I go somewhere, like something on the tab gets comped or we go to, and the parking meter is like already paid, like whatever. Like even if it's just little stuff, like I just affirm that I get like upgrades and free shit and that I always get amazing service. Yeah. That's just, let me know how that is. Can you manifest whole appearance change with subliminals? Yeah, you can. So just remember that subliminals are a tool. Okay. The real power is you deciding, but yeah, use whatever tools you want. Like I like subliminals. I like affirming. I like scripting. I like to do all the different things. I don't do so much tools now because I'm really fully believe that I create my reality, but tools are really helpful in the beginning. And either way, I always like to, I'm a list person. So I always like to write out a list of what I want and then just know I'm going to get it. And then like, as I think of more things I want, I maybe add it to the list and I don't really worry about it. And I don't try to make it happen. And then when I think of it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's mine. Okay. So like, let's say when I was manifesting my last car, I was like, I didn't know how I was going to be able to afford it at the time. It was a little bit of a stretch for me. So I had seen it, what I want, I decided. And then every time I saw that car, I was like, oh, that's my car. I can't wait for my car. I'm so excited. Like I was claiming that as mine, even though I had no idea how, and even though it hadn't shown up in my physical reality yet. And then when I got it, it happened in a really crazy way with like almost no money down, like very affordable. Like it, so, just claim things as yours, Does that make sense? You're welcome. Does our SP imagine our sats exactly when I am? I think he is. I'm a little confused by that. don't focus on your SP, focus on you. Focus on you, and your SP will conform. You don't have to get energetically entangled in that. Your SP is thinking whatever you want them to be thinking. Like, you can intend they're dreaming of you, and they will. Tosh, would you recommend any sleep affirmation tapes? Yes, I love sleep affirmation tapes. I really recommend these to my clients. I have a couple on my YouTube channels. I have 2 YouTube channels, guys. They're linked in my bio, which, by the way, just for anyone new who hopped on, everything is linked at the top of my page in my bio. If you want to look at my YouTube channels, I have one that's just affirmations and subliminals. You can loop those, you just hit the little wheel, the 3 dots at the top right-hand corner, and hit loop, and you can loop them overnight or just loop it throughout the day, whatever you want. Because I don't like to upload 8-hour ones. It takes so fucking long, guys. Like, I don't have that kind of storage on my phone or computer, and I'm not trying to figure that out. So I like to do those and loop them. But yeah, if you find any on YouTube that you like from other people and you agree with the affirmations, like, for sure do that. You can make your own. You can like record your own, all that good stuff. Then my other channel, I upload these lives to it. So you can rewatch the lives. I have email coaching, personal readings, self-paced programs that are lifetime access, my self-concept guide, my manifestation workbook, like all these things. So you can check out all this stuff. How do you know what they're thinking when we say they are? Could you explain? I just feel like you shouldn't be obsessed with what they're thinking. You should be really putting that energy, when you're focused on what are they thinking, you're giving them power. You're the operant power in your reality. You're sending your energy out towards them. You want to reverse that dynamic and send the energy back towards you. They're obsessed with me. They can't stop thinking about me. They're coming towards me. They're texting me. They're calling me. They're planning dates with me. They want commitment with me. Don't worry about their each and every thought. You don't need to do stuff from a controlling point of view. When you start getting into controlling the nitty gritty, the little bits and pieces, it's typically a sign that you don't believe you're going to get what you want. For me, I don't have time to worry about what my partner's thinking all day. I just assume she's thinking about me all day. If we asked her, I'm sure she'd say she is. But to go a little deeper into that, people are always going to, if you're assuming that people don't want you, if you're assuming that people are thinking negative things about you, then you're going to have that mirrored back to you. If you're assuming that people always think positively about you, you're going to have that mirrored back to you. Simply put, because the 3D is a mirror. This is all happening within your conscious awareness. People get so trapped thinking that other people and circumstances and things outside of them are real. But this 3D, what you can smell, taste, touch, and see, is just an illusion. Okay? It is your thoughts projected outwards. So a lot of people are like, well, what are my limiting beliefs? Okay. Well, the easiest way to find this is to look at your life. It's literally that simple. How are people treating you? How are they showing up for you? How's your life going? That will show you exactly what you've been thinking consciously or subconsciously, and then you get to choose to think something different. I really, though, with manifesting an SP, I really, really recommend with clients, you can do some affirmations of like how they treat you, how they feel about you, of course, but I would focus most of that energy on you because that's going to make you so magnetic, okay? What's my favorite personal manifestation? Oh my God, I have a couple. Well, I manifested healing my body from an autoimmune. I also manifested clear skin because I used to struggle with acne. That kind of went along with the autoimmune, but even once the autoimmune cleared up, my skin still has some issues. And my relationship, I manifested my last car that I wanted. I have a lot. I think like healing my body and my skin and my relationship. Those are like my favorite. Those are my top favorite big things. What about you? What's your favorite manifestation? Guys, drop down in the comments below what your favorite manifestations are. Let's pump you. Love to know. So what things put the energy back on us? Eating our favorite, self-care, filling our own cup. Yeah, those are some great ways. And also just your self-talk. So especially because you're asking about SP, a really good way when you're manifesting love is to have these inner conversations with yourself about how you feel in this relationship. So instead of putting all the energy and focus on your partner, put the energy and focus on you. How are you feeling? Would you be like, wow, I feel so loved. This is such a great relationship. I'm having so much fun. This is the most passionate relationship I've been in. I love being pursued. I love being shown up for. I love that my partner's always contacting me. Like, I feel so good, right? Like, you can affirm like that. You can also affirm like, wow, I'm such a catch. Like, of course they're obsessed with me. Like I'm the best there is. I'm always getting attention and affection, and I deserve that because I'm amazing. I deserve love, you know? And you can kind of like do a little mini self-discovery around like what, hang on, I'm going to block some gross people. Sorry guys. Just know if you say ignorant shit, you will get blocked. Okay. You know, take a look, do a little bit of self-discovery and see like, are there any pain points when it comes to love? Like, are there any ways that you doubt your worthiness? Are there any insecurities of yours that you could go in and really work on like loving and telling a new favorable story in, right? Like, so what that's going to do is that's really going to build up your confidence and your sense of yourself, right? And also praise the parts of yourself in your life that you love. Yeah. And like you said, self-care, self-love, all of these things are great. Just be happy. Think about like the people that you find the most attractive. You know, it's not attractive when someone's like needy and desperate, right? What's attractive typically is someone who's got a full, juicy life, who's confident, who's so in love with themselves. Yeah. I feel like part of the reason I manifested such a good relationship this time around was because between my last relationship and this relationship, I actually allowed myself to enjoy being single. In the past, I had always been like really wanting a relationship, and I attracted in like really not good relationships / I settled for really not good relationships. And that was just where my self-concept was at, what I believed I was worthy of, what I believed was capable, my limiting beliefs about love, right? But I really took this time. I was single for 5 years. Again, you don't need to be single for 5 years. Like, you can manifest love fast. Like, once I decided I was ready, it came in really fast, you know? But like, I thoroughly actually enjoyed being single. I started taking myself out on dates. I stopped waiting to live my life. I started doing the things I wanted to do. I started my business. I healed my body. I worked on healing wounds from childhood. I worked on clearing trauma. I worked on healing my body. You know, like, I really took time to love me. I worked on my self-concept. I used affirmation tracks at night. I worked on confidence. I worked on all of these things. Yeah. And that, I feel, put me in an energy of like, I'm being my best. And then that allowed me to attract someone who's at that level. Yeah. And I also really worked on like reworking my stories around love. So I looked at any limits I had around love, around what I could have. And I told new stories, just kind of like I shared with you. I'm going back and reading comments. Hang on, guys. Your favorite manifestation will be when your ex apologizes. He's already apologized. Of course, he's going to come to his senses. Duh. Why wouldn't he? And then Nicole says, my relationship, my career, traveling, those are all amazing. Yeah. Because you can manifest whatever you want in any area of your life. Tash says, when you first started manifestation, how hard did you find it to keep persisting and change your self-concept? It was kind of hard for me in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm someone who kind of had resistance in every level. Like, I did not have a good upbringing. Like, I was not taught my self-worth. I had a lot of trauma. I went through a lot of abuse. So I struggled, me personally, in every area of my life. So kind of like my overall self-concept was that the world was not a kind or safe place. I always was in fear. I felt like I couldn't trust anyone. I felt like I didn't get what I wanted. I felt that life was hard. I felt very unsupported. Yeah. So this showed up in my body. This showed up in love. This showed up in friendships. This showed up in money. Yeah. So I worked through each area. And then I worked on like general ones around like I get to have what I want. I would say like when I started using the nighttime affirmation tracks was when I started noticing the biggest change. And I know a lot of people want to get really specific with the nighttime affirmation tracks, but if you're newer to manifesting, I would really recommend going with a more general one around like building faith in the universe, faith that you get what you want, faith that everything's working out for you, you know, and then go in with some more specific ones after. That would be my recommendation, because I feel like in the beginning I was a little too clingy, a little too attached to like needing to make certain things happen. And the less I tried, the easier it was. This is just my experience, okay? And I recommend this too with clients who feel like they've been working really hard in one area and not getting results. I'm always like, lean back. How can you let it be more easy? Go more general. Yeah. Is it true that the one we want is meant for us? Do you want that to be true? Whatever you decide to be true is what's going to be true for you. I always affirm that everyone I want wants me back. Anyone I want wants me even more. You know, just reverse the dynamic always. Yeah, does this make sense, guys? Was this a good chat? I'm going to hop off, guys, because I didn't have as long today. Usually I'm on here for about an hour. I don't know how long we're on here. But thanks everyone for being here. Tosh says she loved it. Thank you. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here, guys. It was nice to see some new faces. If you're not following me yet, would love you to give me a follow. Would love to connect with you. Nicole says, so glad I found your account. I'm glad you found me too. Yay. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your questions. This was a great chat. I look amazing. Thank you. Were you there to see the whole transformation? My whole 5-minute makeup routine. It only took long because I was talking with you guys. But yeah, I'm going to film some content. So I post content every day. Feel free to connect with me on here. That way you'll be notified when I go live. I usually go live at least once a week. So thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.